Baby, when I tell you this was the best movie experience I've had comedy wise in a long time, I'm telling you just that.
It's showtime.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl Nita, your favorite diva, and I'm back for a movie review. The movie I'm reviewing for you today is Cocaine Bear, directed by Elizabeth Banks. She did Charlie's Angels, the remake, and Pitch Perfect too. The movie is written by Jimmy Warden. He did The Babysitter, the movies that's on Netflix, so you may know about that. Anyway, it is starring O'Shea Jackson, Ice Cube's son, Keri Russell, Isaiah Whitlock Jr., Ray Lee Oda in one of his last completed works before his untimely death, Alden Ehrenreich, Christian Convery, Margot Martingale, among many, many others. Okay, it's classified as a comedy thriller. I say comedy horror. It clocks in at 1 hour and 35 minutes, and it is rated R. Now, listen. Fun fact, they say it is inspired by true events, but the true events that I want to tell you about is that it happened. The plane with the drug cargo did have to unload some cocaine into the forest. A bear did ingest it, and they died. Now, everything all up and through in between this is all Jimmy Warden and Elizabeth Banks. This movie was balls to the wall. If y'all seen the trailers, y'all already know what we're in for. So let me just get into it. The synopsis reads: an oddball group of cops, criminals, tourists, and teens converge on a Georgia forest where a huge black bear goes on a murderous rampage after unintentionally ingesting cocaine. And that is all I'm going to say because this is your spoiler-free review. If you're new to the channel, welcome and welcome back. My Diva Squad, we already know what we do here. I watch movies so you don't have to. I give you the good, bad, and everything in between with no spoilers, of course, and let you know whether or not you should know or go see it in theaters, which it is exclusively playing. So go ahead. Let's go ahead and get into the good, shall we? Listen. This movie was so freaking entertaining. Like I said, it set out to do exactly what it intended by the marketing. What you saw in the trailers is basically what you got on film. The gore and the violence was great. It definitely earned its R rating. Lots of scares, thrills, gore, intestines, limbs blown off, ripped off. Just listen. Listen, Linda, the bear was insane. It was fucking some shit up, okay? It's just the right amount of camp and satire that is right up my alley. Y'all know I like dark comedies. If you watch the trailer, it delivered exactly what it set out to deliver. I didn't go in with huge expectations. I just knew I wanted to see it because it just looked like an insane wild ride. I know I like the trailer and the premise a lot, and I felt very damn good and entertained from the viewing experience that I had in the theater. There were a couple of scenes and sequences that completely took the diva out. When I mean I was laughing so damn hard in the theater, I am not lying to you. The level of camp and absurdity was fine with me. I was on board, I was strapped in. There is this ambulance scene. You see a little bit of it in the trailer, but it doesn't give it any justice. The gazebo scene, the cabin scene. Oh my God. I could just keep going on and on and on. Anyway, the movie was at its best when the bear was the focal point, of course. But we need the human elements for the carnage and the story of it all. So I wasn't mad. I understand what we had to do. And no, I didn't really care about the characters all like that. And I don't think it was necessary for this level of camp. If they leaned too far into that, it would have compromised the movie for me. And so I think that Elizabeth Banks had a very delicate balance to try to even create a little bit of an emotional tie, an emotional tie for the film. And like you said, you cannot please everyone. Okay, so get that out your mind. We're not even trying to please everybody, so that's just listen. I commend the direction of the film. People give Elizabeth Banks a hard time as a filmmaker. One, because I think she's a woman. Two, I think she is outspoken. And three, they just don't want her to win. I want her to win. I don't know why they give her such a hard time. Charlie's Angels, although I wasn't the hugest or the biggest fan of that, I did acknowledge the attempt that she made, and I just want her to win. And she had a beautiful way of creating the atmosphere and this whole campy vibe, this B movie that just hit on all cylinders for me. Y'all know I love dark satires. The movie hits all the notes for me. This is nowhere near a perfect film, but I can't tell you the last time I laughed that hard in the theater. Maybe an American Pie movie. I don't know. I want to say I had some chuckles with either a Marlon Wayans or a Damon Wayans film. Can't pretty much remember, but this was a great time in the film. The talent was there, great performances for the most part. Even the kids, kids can be a little annoying at times, but they were cool. They had really good comedic timing, especially the little boy. I think his name is Christian Convery or Convery or Convoy or something like that. But I thought everybody did really, really good. And yeah, that is where I end at with the good. And so let's get into the bad, shall we? There are a few pacing issues. Okay, so let me there's a caveat with my viewing experience. There was a shooting that happened, and listen, we weren't in the ghetto either. We was over there with them, but it was a shooting over there by the mall where the movie theater was, in Virginia, and they had the mall all blocked off, and so the Diva was late, so I probably missed the first 10-15 minutes of it, maybe. I didn't feel like I missed too much of it. I felt like I jumped in before the bear even came and all of that stuff, so I don't know for sure, but I know I missed like the first 10 or 15 minutes or whatever, due to the situation where they had the mall all blocked off and I had to find a different way into the theater and into the mall or whatever. So, but when I got there, I was just watching it. I was like, okay, I know they have to get the setup done and all that stuff. Fine, cool. I was fine with it. It didn't feel long. It took a minute to set up the premise, and when the bear was there, listen, strap in. We was here, right? Okay. So every time you cut back to the humans talking and interacting, it created somewhat of a pacing issue because the bear was so off the chain. But I think it was handled in the best way possible. I know some people will have some complaints, just the opposite. So, what it is, what it is, right? The movie was a little overstuffed. Okay, we said we had the cops, we had the criminals, we had the element with the kids, the parents, the rangers, the teenage delinquents. So there was a lot of things and subplots going on in groups that we focused on throughout the movie. Sometimes you wouldn't get back to the other characters for at least about 15 minutes. You're like, oh yeah, I forgot all about them. So those are the type of pacing issues because there were so many different subsets of people, but it converged in a good way where it all just kind of it worked for me. It worked for me. I didn't really care that this was one of Ray Liotta's final films. Not that in a manner, it just was odd. The character that he played, the way things played out, I definitely didn't want to see one of his last performances played out like that. So it felt a little odd and a little weird to me, especially when I know that he's passed on. Um, his his um his character wasn't front and center. He was a subplot or whatever. He came towards the end of the film, but that's all I'll say about the Ray Liotta. He is definitely a talent. We did see his talent. It was showcased. But like I said, we got the camp and the raunch and all of that. And so that just kind of didn't sit well with me. If that makes sense. Let me know in the comments if you know what I'm talking about. Tonally, it worked for me, but I can see some people having some issues because there's some different things, like they want you to care about things, and that's fine. I feel like at some point you have to kind of care about certain characters or whatever. I think it's pretty much BS, because if they didn't have the character development in there, if they didn't have the emotional connection in there, then people are like, well, is it? Da, 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 da. You know what I'm saying? You never can please them or whatever. But like I said, I got what the trailer was delivering, and it delivered exactly what it advertised. But it worked for me, but I can see it not working for some people. Before I give you my overall thoughts on Cocaine Bear, I want you to take a moment and follow me on my social media. It's right there. So my overall thoughts for Cocaine Bear, I think this will be a divisive movie. I love divisive movies. It begs the public to see it for themselves. So I never have been like, oh, no, no, no. I love when they're divisive, because I always want to say, see it for yourself. You may feel something totally different than what I feel. That's a good thing for me. If you like dark comedies with horror elements, I think this will be right up your alley. Shut your brain off. Get ready for some camp, gore, and laughs. I think you'll be thoroughly entertained once you walk out of the theater. It took me a minute to get there, but once I did, it really swung for the fences and did not miss one opportunity for their R rating, delivering some excellent sequences that will have you entertained. My audience had a ball with it. This is definitely a movie that you want to see with your friends, with a packed theater. There was applause at the end of the film. This is definitely one to see with the crowd for the communal viewing experience. So I really did have a good time. And y'all, listen, this is just based on, not saying this is Shakespeare, not saying this is nothing like the sort. But I'm going to go ahead and give Cocaine Bear 4 out of 5 stars, just for the mere entertainment, the pure entertainment for me. I definitely recommend that you go see it in the theaters. And yeah, y'all, okay. So for my Diva recommendations, I have Crawl, I have Snakes on a Plane, and I have Lake Placid. Okay. So anyway, what did you think about my review? What did you think about the movie? If you saw it, please get down in the comments and let the Diva know exactly what you thought about it. I loved it. I saw so many different feedback from people that they loved it as well. And I'm just happy to hear it. It was one of my favorite movie going experiences of 2023. And that is saying, it's not saying a lot, but it's saying a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know where this is going to fall towards, the end of the year when we're doing our top 10s of 2023. This is one I definitely will not forget. I really would like to go see it, and I will probably either rent it, buy it, or something like that, because baby, when I tell you the laughs, okay? Anyway, I'm Nita, your favorite diva. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and make sure you come back. Bye.